Hello and welcome to Shark Cut Up CNC. In the first version of this plate dish using the spiral pocket gadget for the dish, I showed you three different styles I created. What we're going to do is we're going to start fresh with sheet 4 and we're going to create our own version. So we're going to go to the gadget. If I could remember where it's located. There we go. Spiral. Okay, what I want to do is I want the start node. Let's see, this is going to be top side. I want the start node to go outside in, and I'm going to leave everything else the same. Add it to the project. And we're going to create a fluting toolpath to go along with that. And we're going to change this to a smooth rather than a linear ramp type. And we ramp over the entire length, which would be the entire length of this spiral. Now you realize the spiral is going to go one way and the the fluting is going in the other direction, the X direction, Y direction, whichever. But anyway, we calculate that and we take a look at the X view. That's what we want. We want to create a dish. And of course, you look at it up close to make sure you don't have any stray issues with that. So that looks pretty good. So now we'll preview that tool path and see what it does. Aha, we got a little bit of a problem. And I know what that is. When we created the vector, we included this outside. You don't want that. And you look at the spiral. Okay, make sure there's no other. We don't want that on the fluting toolpath. So we're going to go ahead and delete that from the toolpath and then recalculate. And we reset it, preview visible. Now it's not leaving that. So that corrected the issue we had. All right, now we can go to the bottom side. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to create a spiral vector from the center out using the gadget. I get lost here sometimes. Okay, 0, 0. And we're going to use all the same features, just add it, close. Now on this particular situation, we want a flat bottom. So what we'll do is we'll look to see where the start node is. Okay, it's on the outside, that's what we want. Actually, we want it on the inside, but we're going to change that after we get rid of some of what we don't want. Okay, so I'm going to change this back to leave it as start nodes. All the node editing, and we'll go in tight. And I'm going to go about midways and cut the vector, highlight the inside, delete it. Now we got a flat bottom. And the spiral, we go ahead and check that. We want to find out where that start node is. We want it on the top to run down, not from the bottom up. Because what you're going to do is you're going to go that bit's going to go right down into that wood to the bottom of this thing, and then it's going to start spinning around, 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 and that's a lot of cutting for the bit to do. So we want to start from the top and work down. So we change the start node by going in tight like that, using the scroll on your mouse, and then you right click and you make it the start point. Now we can create our tool path for that, which will be a fluting tool path. And let's see, we're going to make this, let's look at it linear. Calculate. Okay, that looks pretty good. Go to the X. These are your tools. Y, I don't see any stray vectors or anything that might hurt us. So that looks pretty good. Now we'll preview both, reset it and preview both sides. Go to the top side, preview all sides. And there you have a dish. And to finalize the dish, you add other vectors to your bottom side, which we're on now. We'll close this, we'll go to the 2D view. It's already got an outside profile, so we'll go to the profile 2 path and we'll leave it, let's go on the vector, take a look at what it looks like. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Having fun here. Okay, calculate. And we'll preview it. And we double click on the excess material. And of course, that is not going to work. So we need to change that. So we go back to the 2D view, go to our fluting tool path, and let's go to the outside, calculate, reset the preview, and preview all sides. We can do it from the bottom or the top, it doesn't matter. Okay, now we have a lot of excess material there. Okay, so that wasn't enough. So what we'll do is we'll go inside, calculate, see what we end up with. View visible. Too much. Okay, so we changed it to those three. We reset the preview. And we go back to the 2D view. And the better one of the three, okay, we need to get back to the bottom. There we go. Profile. Having fun. Okay, so this tool here will help you in noticing where the tool path is. So we'll calculate it and bring it back to the 2D view. You see that color right there? That's where the bit runs. So it's cutting into our dish. We don't want that. So what we need to do is change let's change it to on the line, calculate, and see the different tools you can use. Okay, outline, it pretty much centered, but we're still cutting right at the edge of the dish. Now, you can use that to some degree by using the allowance but on the line you can't, or on the vector you can't. The only place you can use the offset allowance is on the outside or inside. So we'll set it for the outside, and we'll take a look at where it's at. Okay, it's right on the outside. Now we can change the allowance to move it in. It's going to be a negative, if I remember correctly. Let's go 100. Calculate. Bring it back. 100 is too much. I want to have a nice lip on that. So let's go to profile 2. Let's go half of that. 50 thousandths. Calculate. And go back to the 2D view. You can change it to where it doesn't go there, back and forth to these when you create your tool paths by going to the preferences. Edit options, I should say, not preferences, options, and you change it in there. That way it doesn't switch back and forth after you do a tool path. Okay, that looks pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll go to the 3D view. Okay, and we preview all sides using that. That looks pretty good. We got a lip on the bottom side, and we got a small lip on the upper side. So we can fix that, make more adjustments. Doesn't look well, wait a minute now, let's see. Yeah, well, it's got a little bit of a lip on the bottom there. Edge. So we go back to the bottom. Okay, that's our bottom side. In fact, if I bring it up real tight, you can see that it does have a little edge on it there. But that's because the ball nose went around there and it's curled a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the 2D view and we'll move that out a little more. Change it to 25, 025. And reset the preview all sides. And of course, that doesn't look good either because it's leaving a bunch of excess material. So you would have to change the vector, offset the vector some to get the proper situation that we need here. So we offset it at 25 thousandths. We got that, and it didn't leave us an edge. So let's offset this inwards 025 to start with. And we'll delete that vector. Well, let's leave it for the time being. And I'm going to change the tool path to this vector and calculate. And we should end up with the same situation as we got here. So we'll reset the preview and we'll preview all sides. Then we'll click. Now that doesn't look half bad. little sanding around this outer edge, clean that up. But you keep playing with it, you can get a nice outer lip on it, just like my bowls that I created earlier. But there you go. How to use the spiral pocket gadget to create a plate or dish. There's your spiral pocket. Thank you for watching. Shark Cut Up CNC.